Hello, senators and legates. So far, we have talked about the strongest capitals, different resources, and some of the best wonders in the game. The last two being extremely important to determine what province are the best for your economy provinces, as they are locked to their specific regions. As I don't have time to make a save to build the full setup myself, we're gonna use screenshots from the creator of the guide himself, that being Somari and Ptolemy Sotar, who I've been told helped creating the guide. Today we're gonna cover all the different province setups you need, those being economy, food, military, resources and research provinces. And with that said, let's get into it. As mentioned before, through this guide you'll only need 5 provinces on tax. 3 of those focusing on economy, or maybe just 2 and 3 on food. For this video we are gonna be using Aegyptus as an example for our guide, as it is one of the best provinces in the game. Not the best, but we will talk about the rest in the 5th video. In this province we have quite a few unique buildings, with most of them being locked in. The main building chains, with 3 of them carrying a resource. We have the 2 S-tier wonders in the Pharaohs of Alexandria and the Great Pyramids of Giza, 2 ports and one of them actually being unique. The regular port will be focused on the harbor chain. The main chains will all be fully upgraded, with the ancient capital in Alexandria focusing on commerce. Same for the Iron region with the trade hub. These buildings fully upgraded will give a major economy bonus, with commercial Alexandria giving a 50% wealth from all sources in this province only. The population you get from this as well will help boost the economy. In this picture, for example, you can see Alexandria with over 100,000 people, which will give a further 50% wealth increase. The next building is probably the most crucial for any economic setup you have. Fully upgraded, the slave trader chain will give you the trained slave resource, minus 10% construction cost, 180 wealth from local commerce, 75% wealth generated by slaves, reduced slave population decline, 10% wealth from industry, and 15% from agriculture if that's what you're into, minus 4 slave unrest, plus a bunch of unreal bonuses to the commercial stimulation edict. Basically, with this building alone, you should be able to work with the slave population, giving you an almost 100% total income boost in that province, basically nullifying the empire maintenance. If you want to know how to get slaves in your provinces, then you can either enslave the captives after a battle, loot or sack a settlement after an assault. Other than that, you'll have the best industry or commerce focused buildings from each region. In most cases that will come through your resource buildings, except for Memphis, as the grain resource doesn't add anything useful to the economy. Instead you'll just use the main industry chains. We're of course gonna use the commercial stimulation edict, as the slave trader really buffed it up a lot, plus some of the other buildings also helps improve it. And then lastly you also have 2 temples that will help increase your income by boosting it. All these buildings give a shit ton of management problems in form of public order, banditry, squalor or lack of food. Most of those will be sorted through other means. Characters, for example. We will cover them in the next video, or by making other provinces focus on the rest. So let's quickly go over them. The best food provinces in the game will always be the ones with the most ports. Africa is the prime example with 4 ports. You can see a bunch of temples to convert the provinces into the right culture, along with the sanitation building, covering all the regions in this province. Another important thing to note is the sell slaves edict to remove some of the slaves, which can cause a bunch of public order problems. This setup will give you plus 83 food, which is extremely good. As it only was the last 2 province types that required to be taxed, the rest don't need to worry about public order, food or other major problems. Instead, they can look like this. Give it a library building, one to focus on the resource chain, and just basically spam the research temple. Sumari told me he eventually completed the entire research tree and just converted the temple to something more appropriate after. So you might do that as well. For military provinces, you need a province with 4 regions to maximize the buffs you'll get from your temples. Other than that, just don't place it in an A or S tier province, which we will cover in part 5. The rest should be pretty simple, with you building the military buildings you desire the most. Any other tiny details you'll have to see for yourself in the economy guide Sumari will publish after all 5 videos are up. Next up, we have characters. But until then, see you in the next video.